In just a few days, SoFi is going to show us and prove to us if they're just a regular fintech stock or if they are a future banking empire. On October 28th, as you can see on the screen, there is earnings. That is the earnings date. And this only happens 4 times per year. So during earnings, we will see exactly what the business is cooking, what are the estimates, what are the innovations, and if this stock is just a fintech stock, or if this stock is about to head next to the next level, $40 per share, $50 per share. Is that market cap going to grow? Because the market cap has been at $31 billion for a long time. The stock hasn't been moving a whole lot. The past 1 month, we're going sideways. In the past 6 months, of course, we have freaking had amazing, crazy returns. So 141%. SoFi has increased. And this has been a stock that has been top on my list. It has literally been a money maker for me and my community. And if you own SoFi shares or even plan to own them, we need to talk about what's going to happen next week, because that is going to decide potentially the next 12 months of returns. The earnings is going to be a very important factor. So you only get 4 moments a year to get ahead of Wall Street. So let's take the opportunity right now and really get into the deep research. By the way, I can't predict the future. I'm not a financial advisor, but let's go over my research and what I think. Now, key numbers and estimates. For the upcoming quarter, Q3 2025, analysts are expecting EPS or earnings per share around 8 cents per share. For full year 2025, analysts estimate EPS of about 32 cents per share. And the next thing that's really important is future projections, right? Because I can't predict the market, nobody can. But management that works inside the company has basically the best chance of predicting because they actually work in the business. So next year, fiscal 2026 EPS estimates are actually really high, around 50 to 60 cents per share, according to some research and management consensus. So forward estimates are extremely crucial. And what the management will say on the call will determine basically how investors will react. And Wall Street can essentially change their model overnight and say, hey, we expect these things to be priced in. So let's talk about some of those things. My investment philosophy, as usual, I'm trying to understand the strength of a business and long-term future cash flow. So SoFi has been doing very well from, since I've been recommending it, even like at these levels, right, at like $10 per share. It continues to rise, and more analysts are raising price target ahead of earnings. And since earnings is next week, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of action before, but as soon as earnings come out, this stock is, in my opinion, we're either going to go 2 ways, obviously, just 2 ways, up or down, right? I think we have a higher chance of being above $30 to $31 per share versus being under $25 per share. I would probably say my best guess is 80% chance we're going to be above 30, 20% chance we're going to be below 25, and something is going to upset investors. For me, the most exciting thing that I'm going to be looking for, and why I think investors and shareholders right now, as soon as possible, should be thinking about holding a nice position in SoFi. And the reason why I think it will go up is because of their rollout of options. Level 1 options was rolled out in early October, it was a couple of weeks ago. And if management decides to talk about this on the call, I think it's going to really excite investors. And I don't know whether they will share quantitative usage metrics such as numbers, members, or trades that are being executed. But if they talk about that, that's going to be absolutely explosive for the stock. If management even hints at adoption metrics, I think Wall Street will be able to rerun their models. So what Wall Street does and analysts do is they have valuation models, and they can run different valuation models based on what the management says. So if they say, hey, these are the usage data, then Wall Street analysts can say, okay, this is the new revenue that we're going to bake into the stock. Okay, so it really helps Wall Street analysts basically have a price target on the stock. So I'm looking for some usage metrics. I am not sure if we're going to get that. They will likely highlight option trading, something around that performance under product innovation or business updates. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Now, also, I am curious how much management will discuss crypto business, because their crypto business, if you've watched some of my recent SoFi videos, that's another part of the business that I'm personally really bullish on and that I think can push the stock to $30 per share and higher. If SoFi continues to have strong partnerships, like recently they announced a partnership with Lightspark, which is a Bitcoin payment infrastructure company, and they plan to launch an international money transfer service embedded in the SoFi app that uses blockchain and crypto rails. If they announce announce more stuff along the lines of we are continuing crypto projects, I'm really bullish for that. And the way that looks like, by the way, it's a simple workflow that they have. It basically is very innovative, in my opinion, because it's going to add another revenue stream, and it's going to allow users to send US dollars from the SoFi app, right? The dollars are converted in real time into Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin is routed cross-border via the Bitcoin Lightning Network and the Universal Money Address, or UMA protocol, which is developed by Lightspark, to the destination market, right? So they're starting to roll this out. At destination, the Bitcoin is converted back into the local currency and deposited into the recipient's bank account. So this is extremely helpful because when people are trying to send money overseas or something, it's very difficult. And now there is a solution by sending a currency into Bitcoin and then Bitcoin into that other currency. So this is going to be a lot of transaction fees. And this move isn't just about crypto hype. It's actually about owning the global payment rail before traditional banks even know what happened. Because, man, banks are kind of slow. When I was working at Goldman Sachs, it really looked like they were 10, 15 years behind, and they're old money. It's old money. But if you really want to make new money, well, you got to invest in companies that are creating new money, essentially, not old money. So crypto, Bitcoin, that's all like new money potential. And I think SoFi is going to do really well with that. In addition to their core business. Like I've been saying, that the reason why I got into SoFi, and I think this stock will run. I really think it's going to run to 35 billion market cap, 40 billion market cap, and beyond with time. It's hard to say what time. I'm not trying to predict it short term, but it's because of their strong business. They have a very high level overview of how to create a flywheel effect with their members and increase long-term value. So their genius is in compounding value per user, right? It's not just about acquiring users, it's about the quality of those users and then basically increasing the value per user. And what I'm telling you, that's the most important metric that I'm looking at and other Wall Street analysts are looking at. And they are good at ads, but it's not really through ads. It's through behavioral nudges and pre-approval upselling. So SoFi is looking at pre-approving customers for more products and then pushing more products on those customers so that each customer can be more valuable to SoFi. If a customer is more valuable and they spend more money, then the overall company makes more money on the same amount of customers. So that's pretty much kind of like the SoFi financial matrix. Every time I make a video, I make a new kind of angle to explain to you the financial matrix. And it's so much to it. I'm learning all the time, like, hey, they're doing this and this is their strategy. And their strategy is evolving. So I always like to talk about the financial matrix because it helps you understand deeply like what the business is about and how they are generating money internally. And that's the most important part, is the upsells that they have. So once you're kind of in the financial matrix, it's kind of like financial child support or something, right? You're in there for a long time. So their growth strategy really revolves around the flywheel effect, where they will get you in under, it's like a student loan or a credit card or something, and then they just get you on more products like investing in home loans. In investing right now, the newest thing is them launching in October the option level 1 trading. Will they get into level 2 trading? We'll see. And this is really also important because they're competing now with Robinhood. They are now doing something very similar to Robinhood, and they're now going to be collecting transaction revenue. So if SoFi can really crack the code here and acquire more customers, or they don't even have to acquire more customers, funnel their current customers into the current product, if those numbers are high and they're reported, then Wall Street's going to be very excited because that is just one more product, one more offer that is going to drive the value per user, which is essentially what SoFi needs to do. They need to acquire customers and then make as much money from those customers as possible with upselling, with cross-selling, and with product adoption. They've already figured out the cost of acquisition, or CAC. CAC is super important. It's if you can acquire customers for cheap enough, then you can make profit on basically anything, right? But for SoFi, they are acquiring customers through referral rewards, which is nice. That's smart, right? Having your current customers that are happy refer you more business. Sponsorship, so they have the SoFi Stadium. They're very, very good, and I'm not an expert at SEO, but they're very good at SEO, heavy content marketing, which stands for search engine optimization. So I'm looking forward to some statistics there as well. If they're doing well with Google search, all kinds of SEO heavy content, it's essentially getting organic users to come in and adopt products. So like if you Google like best credit card, right? We can actually do that right now. All right, so I just Googled best credit cards, and you can see here there's like Reddit credit cards, NerdWallet, super strong. This is what SEO is. So they basically use headlines like best credit card offers October 2025. And there's CNBC, there's Yahoo Finance, there's Credit Karma. There's actually YouTube there. So there's a few like YouTubers that are in the credit card, YouTube space, and MasterCard, Chase Bank, right, etc. You don't see SoFi here because SoFi is not really ranking super well. But if I click SoFi, then they will rank for something. You can see here, see if you're pre-qualified, and then there's SoFi again. So they're not like killing it on the credit card search, but I don't know what all their SEO is, right? But they definitely have like, look how many products they have. It's crazy. This is absolutely insane. So like loans. So if you type in like medical resident refinancing, SoFi very well may come up very high on that search, and that's a very specific search. So if they organically come up for this, that's a way for them to get a customer, right? So this is what I mean by SEO, and it's incredibly important. It's also super interesting. So they got investing, so self-directed investing. They don't have the option trading feature just yet here. I don't see it added to their website, but they just launched it, so it's probably going to be added here. Banking, obviously they have checking account, high yield savings account. So if I click high yield savings account, potentially if you type into Google high yield savings accounts, SoFi may rank like fairly high. It may rank better than credit cards, especially because I know they do have a bit higher on the APY. Oh, annual percentage yield. So the annual percentage yield here, some of the small text, the legal stuff, zero account fees, just really important stuff that they can rank for in Google search, which is very, very important. And again, this is important because they're going to be competing well with Robinhood. Now, in terms of like the cross-selling upsell engine, once they get a customer in, again, it's from one product to the other, and they have really exceptional data personalization. So for me, that's really important to see how I'm going to be listening in on the call. If management talks positively about their data-driven personalization that they are using to acquire more customers, as well as basically upsell more customers, I'm going to be really excited as myself as an investor in SoFi, and I'm going to potentially be adding more to my position because I think this is a strong position to have. So this is kind of the crucial things that I'm going to be looking out for. I'm very excited. I think that as an investor in SoFi, you should have a good sized position, 10%, because it has already gone up a lot, but I'm telling you, do not discount SoFi's ability to rise even further. This company is not that expensive on a market cap basis compared to Robinhood. So there's a lot more that this stock can run, and I think that they're going to be delivering pretty good results. So I'm excited for that. I will make more SoFi videos with more research as we approach earnings, and then through earnings, I'll update you as well. So make sure that you subscribe to the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.